two women in lab coats came to a stop before the door.
Ready to do this?
Posey asked her colleague. I don't like this, Sakura said to Posey. Got me crazy, but I feel a great malevolence on the other side of that door right now. The dark-skinned woman focused cyan eyes on her friend. My husband and I were watching The Exorcist last night. He knows horror films. She turned to look at the door. That's what I'm feeling right now. Posey gave her old friend a little look.
Look, I don't have tubular bells on my phone, and I'm not really an Oldfield fan, she sighed. Clara, there are bigger things going on right now than a girl who needs medical help. We're small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, especially with that serial killer running around. I already have to worry about my daughter as is.
Sakura nodded. Good thing my son is already out of college, and I don't have a daughter.
Lucky you. But as I was saying, even despite all that's going on, you know that under state law, 2 different doctors must see a minor patient before she sees a psychiatrist.
I know. For the record, I don't like this. I've known that child since she was, well, a child.
I understand,
Posey says he reached for the door.
But I promised Velvet I'd help, and as their family's GP, you should be involved too.
Seeing in the examination room were Velvet and Octavia. Posey looked at the teenager for the first time and could easily tell something was wrong. There was something unnatural about her eyes. She couldn't put a finger on, but maybe
Cora's right,
Posey thought to herself.
I thought that the psychologist was supposed to be here,
Velvet asked. California state law requires that 2 independent doctors evaluate the patient. Sakura told her old friend. Posey and I are stressing the letter of the law doing this at the same time. But I assure you, we're doing this by the book as much as we can. Once we're done with our exam, we'll make the referral to the psychiatrist in question.
I've already told her to expect you guys in the near future. So, let's get this over and done with, okay?
Posey assured Velvet. Looking at Sakura, she said,
After you, Doctor.
Sakura nodded. Thank you, Doctor. She moved forward to look at Octavia, but there was something different about her. It was almost as she wasn't the child that she had seen over the years. There was a darkness in her eyes, as if a spirit had taken hold of her and wouldn't let go. Sakura wasn't exactly the most religious, she would admit. She was a doctor, and thus laws of the physical realm held more sway for her than the supernatural. But her grandmother had been both devout, and insisted that demons were everywhere. Sakura hadn't believed her before. Now, she wasn't so sure. Still, as she approached, she was the father of Octavia and had a duty to fulfill. Reaching for her stethoscope, she began. So, Octavia dear, how are you feeling? The look on Octavia's face became positively demonic, and Sakura gasped in shock as the girl's eyes shifted from their normal violet to their angry red.
My name is Melody, the teen announced, and I can smell your fear.
With that, she launched herself off the inspection bed towards the doctor like a wild animal, slamming her against the ground. The teen lorded over the frightened woman for a second.
I'm going to break you like you want to break me,
she threatened. Velvet looked from her chair, trying to stop Octavia's attendant assault Sakura.
Tavi, please get a hold of yourself,
the woman began, as she pulled her niece off the doctor, only to be elbowed in the face and grabbed by her arm. She felt the distinct sensation of being thrown over Octavia's shoulder, until she came to a painful crash on her son doctor. She felt was Octavia kicking both of them in her ribs, making them lose air. Meanwhile, the out-of-control teenager focused her attention on Posey, the last one standing. However, Posey came prepared. Reaching to her pocket, she quickly withdrew a stun gun.
Don't make me do this, kid. This is hard enough as it is.
And completely caught off guard, as Melody rushed forward and grabbed the gun by the tongs, the electrical discharge flowing into her, and not doing a thing to stop her. As Posey reacted with shock, the teen slammed her against the wall and looked in a familiar, frightened face.
You know, I always wondered how Fluttershy tastes.
She cooed.
Maybe I should get a sample.
And with that, Medley leaned up and kissed the older woman, much to Posey's shock. It didn't last long, however, as the teen still had enough presence of mind to punch the doctor in the solar plexus, crumpling her in an instant. As she fell to the ground, Medley moved her out of the way in the roughest way possible, carrying aside her head to push her away from the one drawer the teen knew she had access. Did well have failed. As Velvet and Sakura gained their semblance of mind, Medley pulled a scalpels out of the drawer and seized one.
Now, bitches for trying to get rid of me,
sees now a rage building within her. No, Taffy, please, stop, Velvet pleaded. You're my niece, and I love you like a daughter. Please don't do this. Ignoring her, Medley forced the stunned Posey to her knees and held a scalpel to her neck. Maybe I'll start with Miss Pretty Pussy here. Or maybe I'll save you just to get a threesome with you and your twin daughter, huh? No! The scream was so forceful and loud, Sakura and Velvet were surprised by its sound for a second, before he realized it came from the teenager herself. The trio looked to see Octavia letting go of Posey, who slumped to the floor, having been rendered unconscious by the shock, while Octavia suddenly, inexplicably seemed to be fighting herself over a controlled weapon. Let go, you bitch! She yelled at herself. No, I'm not going to let you hurt anyone else! A voice sounded closer to Octavia, shouted back. Shut up, you cunt! I'm in charge now! No! Not when you hurt my family! With the strength born of rage and fear, Octavia plunged the scalpel into herself, screaming with a cocktail of emotions loud enough it brought Posey back to consciousness. The woman voiced what the others were thinking as poured blood from the wound, and Octavia slumped to the floor. What the fuck? The nurse slammed the door open as if on cue, looking at the destruction within. 3 bruised women stabbed girl. What the hell's going on here? He asked. Sakura picked herself another. I've got 2 more nurses in here, stat. Also, give me a strapped gurney. No arguments. We're going to get this girl patched up. And then, she's not to lead the gurney under notice. Understood? The nurse nodded. Also, get us some painkillers and water. We're going to need them. Meanwhile, Velvet went over to Posey's side. You okay? No, I'm not. She winced. Not only does your niece know how to throw a punch, she's a better kisser than my husband is. Posey gave her friend a wan smile and added, I'll be better after the world stops spinning. How are you up? Reminds me of a few fistfights I got into with Tia when we were young and stupid, Velvet said. I survived those, I'll survive now. That's not what I meant, Velvet said, but the other woman refused to say any further. That in itself was an answer of its own. As soon as I patch this buff up, I'll call Chris. This is out of our hands now, Vel. We'll make sure your niece is taken care of. I promise, won't we, Cora? Sakura nodded. You have to, she said grimly as she looked into Velvet's bleak face. You know we'll do everything in our power, Velvet. I swear it. I know, Velvet murmured, but it doesn't make anything easier. Not one iota. Shining Bats and Shining Armor got out into the former's car. You know, that uniform looks good on you, Bats said, referring to Shining's formal police uniform. He worn it today for Harline's funeral, but surprisingly been planned pretty fast. Like the kind of guy at home in a police or military uniform. Me? Well, I never was, which is why I guess the FBI went FBI so local. Yeah, Shining replied blankly, looking at the car across the way. A stony-faced man was by it, holding a preteen girl close to him. She looked as though she cried her eyes out, and she in turn held a folded American flag as if it were a talisman. Shining had been told the two were Hardline's ex-husband and daughter, and he'd flown out just for the funeral. How did things get arranged for Hardline's funeral so fast? That's a fair question to ask, Bats said. Hardy was dating one of the mortuary guys. So when they heard, they dropped everything they could to get her taken care of. As it is, they're overworked, due to the number of deaths that happened. They're still finding some bodies in Sunnytown and parts south. He looked out his window, where the last of the mourners were departing, and soon Hardline's casket would be lowered to the ground, her final resting place. So many people dead, either from the hurricane or that madman running around, and they stopped everything for just one person. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it's a good thing for our family. Yeah, no argument there, Shining said as the pair drove off. So, what's next? We're going to have reinforcements coming in. Bad enough we have that killer running around here, but now those sirens have popped their heads out. Personally, I'd just be happy if both sides just kill one another. We're not going to be that lucky. So we're going to do our job, and we're going to make sure those fuckers pay. Got that? You've got no argument from me, Shining replied. They hurt a friend of mine, so I'm going to hurt them. Why? You came along merrily with that Sandalwood number? She's a cute little thing, and trust me, you can do far worse than her. Shining blinked at that and confused it for a few seconds. I think you got it wrong. Sir, Sandy's an old friend, and I'm pissed they hospitalized her. But there's nothing going on between us. I certainly don't think of her that way, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't either. Right, gotcha. Sad said in a way that sounded like he absolutely did not believe it. You find out soon enough anyway, he said to himself, remembering when he was young and clueless and let the right girl get away because he chased after the wrong one. Who knew back then? Maybe the kids already got the right one, Santa was the one playing with fire. Hey, that's not my job to interfere with lovebirds, I guess. The two drove on in silence as the remaining cloud overhead poured a gentle rain, like the sky itself wept for Hardline's loss. Given that Baz thought she was one of the best he had ever served with, it was a fair enough assessment. Meanwhile, side note, I've got this ad for a look at Berserk through some sort of informative eyes, and the art is a really cool image of a skull looking down, and considering the depth and the darkness of all this, it's just a really cool image. I wish I could share it with you guys, but it's just so cool.
No, Katie. I don't recall assigning that particular lesson in my classes this year, but that doesn't mean I didn't do it,
Celestia replied over the phone.
As for the forged documents, I already know she can do it. I caught her once during her freshman year, and as punishment I had her ghostwrite several long letters to the other principals in the district for me. Her hand was cramped by the time she was done, and I think she learned her lesson. But Twily's worried that she's doing something again. After all, there was a strange letter in her handwriting,
Gaines explained.
Aunt Tia, personally, I think Twily's worried about nothing, but I just want to come up with something that'll calm her down. Well, the only thing I could think of is that she does it to keep in practice, though I don't know why. As for a reason why she didn't use it, that's easy enough. From the sounds of it, we're talking horse references and mystical things out of a fancy land. Obviously, that's not going to pass for legitimate, and she wrote it so it wouldn't look like it does, even by accident. That certainly makes sense. Well, I'm going to have dinner over there and explain to everyone what happened. Maybe she just comes clean about it. That would sell Twilight's fears. That makes sense. I would love to chat more, Katie, but I have a date with Sable tonight. Oh, really? Sounds like you two are getting serious. Hey, I'm old. I'm allowed to get serious in an instant if I want, right? Celestia laughed on the other end and said, Seriously, Katie, I'm happier than I've ever been with him. I think he's the one. Not good, I'll tell you. You deserve someone of your own. Now, if we can only get Luna tied up. Anyway, I'll let you go since I still need to shut down here for tonight. Love you and talk to you later. Love you too, dear. Bye.
Gaines hung up the phone. She was sure that it was just a quick talk with Sunset would assure Twilight, and that Sunset would be more circumcised in the future. Gaines sighed. Sometimes being the lawyer in my family gets to be a hassle. Meanwhile, Celestia hung up the phone and sighed. Other weird things going on when it came to Sunset, and this time the educator was involved. She was sure there was a perfectly good reason why Sunset would do something like that, but she was at a loss to explain what it was. She would just have to find a way to talk to the team before school and find out exactly what it was. Well, she was sure it would all turn out to be a fairly mundane thing. She wasn't happy about having her handwriting copied for some explainable reason, though Sunset probably had at least taken the time to ensure that that letter wouldn't be understood in any logical form other than those in the know. I just have to make sure I talk to Sunset before she takes herself further, she thought to herself. She giggled at the thought that the fact that once she spent years trying to keep the teen out of trouble and taking the wrong path, now she was trying to keep her out of trouble by taking the wrong path. I guess I've never grown up, have I? Celestia said to herself, mightily amused. She felt a pair of strong arms encircle her. But I'm glad. I hate to see how it'd be for you to keep up with you if you did. In response, kissed the man she loved. Glad as the stars above earth below, she had him. Meanwhile, in a car with Oregon license plates heading down the interstate, three young women looked at the road. One, a tan-skinned beauty with short, wine-hued hair, green eyes, and a short temper, shouted, "Look, speak the fuck up, okay? We need to be back at base immediately." A girl with long, flowing two-tone hair, hazel eyes, and a pair of eyeglasses, one that inspected closely would realize were blanks, not prescription lenses, sighed, "You know what? Just start the fight up, wine, unless you want to drive." Sighed. A black girl with curly pine green hair and brown eyes laughed. "Don't you mean wine sides?" She put out a fist, and the other girl bumped into her grin. "Look,
You two grasslickers want to keep this up, fine. But I'm putting both of your asses on report the minute we get back to base. Let's you speed the fuck up and get this car going now.
Seated in the driver's seat and paying more attention to the road than the completely whining bits, Petty Officer, Second Class, Sunnyside wanted nothing more than to turn around and shoot the said offender. Petty Officer, First Class, Elderberry Wine, as he gave a pleading look to her best friend and virtual sister, Petty Officer, Second Class, Evergreen Pine. The two of them had been together ever since the first day of training, and together they formed the Weird Name Twins. Given that they had different names when sirens, by intent or coincidence, generally had musical-based names. They did everything together, and with their sewers, they were unstoppable. But then came the delaying fight against Les Cigars in a battle down at Caracas, Colombia, that the news had attributed to accompanying drug lords. Though the sirens had been completely decimated the enemy, it had been a pyrrhic fury. Side and Evergreen Sewers had been amongst the first to fall. Out in an ambush squad of 30, only 3 had survived. Once they arrived at Carolot, it had been decided to pair the 2 up with a third similar to them, Elderberry Wine, a girl with a normal name but weird in the sirens. The 3 hated for each other the moment they met, and things weren't going to change anytime soon. The older girl, in her late 20s and only a PO first because she was slow to learn the promotions, lowered her rank of her subordinates. She was also not as attractive as the other 2, and let them know in the worst way possible. Due to the familial intimacy Side and Evergreen had formed, Wine accused of the pair of being lovers. Needless to say, the Side completely disgusted the pseudo-sisters, and they began to make plans to desert the sirens. They already had an inkling something odd was going on that didn't quite fit the norm for the organization. The 2 had been practicing their Irish accents for the past few months, and when they had their first chance, they were going to bolt to Ireland, where they could live their lives as siblings they considered each other. It was possible, after all. There was a case in Britain following a pair of fraternal twins born to a mixed-race family, where one was a blue-haired, yellow-eyed white girl, and the sister was a pink-haired, gray-eyed black girl. Sides and Evergreen planned to say that they were older than the other twins, but that their parents hadn't wanted to make a fuss. Either way, it was a perfect plan. All I meant was substituting Wine, but neither girl was willing to her.
Though she keeps getting worse, sighed Seed slightly. Might change my mind.
Meanwhile, Evergreen looked out the window at the rearview mirror.
Car behind us,
heading the same direction, she said matter-of-factly.
About time one of you taco scoopers did something right,
Wine growled, reaching for the rifle.
Are you fucking stupid? Evergreen snarled. You're just gonna dust some poor person who's headed back south? Probably someone tailing us. The captain said we need to keep an eye out for more CSIS assets, given the attack on our bolt hole. Yeah, you're fucking stupid. Evergreen did a voice palm, then said aside, Hey sis, can we throw her out of the car? Wish I could, Greeny, but I'd take it for littering, sighed Snark. Wine, put the fucking gun down. Probably someone headed back to town early for the hurricane. You did know a freak hurricane hit Carolot, right? Or did you not pay attention to anything other than insulting us? Give me one reason why I shouldn't fire, Wine said, taking aim. Because if the round traces back to us, you'll let them know we're here, Evergreen replied. Contrary to the CBC, the Americans aren't stupid. You want to take credit for having Siren taken down by the local cops? Yeah, I heard if you pissed them off, the cops could be worse than the military. At least the American Army's trained to restrain itself, Siren added. Fine, Wine grunted, sounding distinctly unhappy about it. Take the next off-ramp to pull over. We'll wait and see. If they pass by, good. Not, I'm taking them out. Even if this is their stop? Evergreen asked, angry at the girl's bloodthirst. Be glad I don't wax you, or else your fuck buddy will be all watery as shit, Wine said with a sneer, and Evergreen looked at Side, who nodded in sympathy. Still, complying with the orders, Side got out at the first exit, making her way down the forested road, pulling off at the first chance. Only for what was following them to gut its engine and crash into them at high speed, pushing both into the trees. We're under attack! Wine shouted, reaching for a rifle, only to have a sniper shot cut through the window, zing past her, embedding itself in the seat. A warning shot, there ever was one. Okay, ladies, Wine ordered, this is what we're going to do. In a second, I want you to gun the engine and try to get us back on the road. I'll return fire, and with a little luck, you'll be able to get out of this. Meanwhile, both Evergreen and Side went for their guns. I'll go right, sis. You go left, Evergreen suggested. Keep your head down, Greeny. Either their sniper was lucky or he's good. I don't want to take the chance with the former.
Line was livid. Any of you listen to me? No, because your plan's gonna get us killed, Side told her. The best we have is to fight it out, to steal a car. Now, if you want a bullet sponge, by all means take the wheel. My sister and I are gonna kill whoever just shot us, then live another day. Wait, why aren't they continuing to fire? A second later, an answer came out. You three can come out. Leave the weapons in the car, though. Yeah, what are we going to do if you don't? Wine shot back. Two quick sniper shots disabled the left and right side mirrors, answering the question immediately. Side called out, We're coming out, unarmed. Wine glared at her, and Evergreen turned back. Can we trust you won't shoot us? If we want to do that, we've done it already. The three climbed out, hands up, and to their shock, found a single girl roughly their age. Standing there, weapons trained on. There was a surprise, not enough. What was bigger surprise was, You're the siren? Wine asked. The last of the trio got out of their car, looked at the siren with shock. For a change, both Evergreen and Side agreed with her. What the hell is the meaning of this? Standing there, calmly, the Chinese girl with orange-yellow hair said, My name is Leading Seaman Adagio Dazzle. I used to belong to Team 1. I'm here to make sure you three don't make a mistake that'll cost your lives. Seaman Dazzle, Evergreen asked, pulling a gun at us and threatening us is a mistake you don't want to make. From what you just said, it's clear you've already deserted. You've already compounded your mistake by attacking us. Put down your gun and surrender, and we'll make sure you get a fair court-martial. That goes for your sniper, too, Side added. I guess he's probably with you and is one of us. That, or you're one of the CSIS moles we've heard about. Dazio shook her head. Neither. I have proof that over the past few weeks, Captain Katana Blast has been working to consolidate her power base and not help us get revenge, but rather work towards becoming of our own. With the assistance of our new benefactor, Prince Define Right. If you're willing to listen, in that car that I just crashed to yours. If they're not, then I'll have to put you three down, and I don't relish that option. Really. I've already seen 2 months of the Sisterhood die, and with the news that the XO and MED have been killed by Captain's own hands, I don't want any other innocents to die. We've been played, ladies, and now the one pulling the strings is going to waste all of us at a chance to try to conquer the... Of course! You lad, Seaman. Wine snarled. I've heard the report yesterday. The XO commander refrained from killing in a car accident, nothing more. You're just a deluded fool trying to take whatever petty agendas you have against the Sisterhood out on us. Really? Adagio countered. The lie about the XO staff already made it that far? Too bad I have documentation saying otherwise in the car. Please look at it. It doesn't do any harm to just look, right? Evergreen looked aside. You know the rumors we've been hearing, Sides. Side nodded. I know, sis. She looked at Adagio. I'm going to move forward slowly. Take it the documents that are right by the door. Adagio nodded. Side started moving slowly, her hands behind her head. Petty Officer Side, you will not move further, Wine ordered. Those papers could be rigged to an explosive device. Yes, because I want to be within the blast radius myself, Dazio said, rolling her eyes. Are you sure you're really a siren? Evergreen giggled at that, and Wine glared at her. Meanwhile, Side made it to the car, looked at a folder. Raising her voice, he began to read. Several past tense minutes followed with hazel eyes scanned the countless lines of paper. The sun finally began to sink past the tree lines as Side stood looked up at Adagio. Is this true? I swear on the Admiral's name, Adagio said solemnly. The Mars status of their fallen leader had become, in the eyes of the Sirens, was enough of a vow in his name to be taken with utmost seriousness. Commander Blue, my sir's biological older sister, lost her life to make sure we got the information. Remember, she grew up with the captain. They were best of friends. And yet the captain killed her without a second thought. Side shaken, looked at Evergreen and Wine. You've gotta beat this. Evergreen looked at her sister. Are you serious? Wine said the same thing, though a different tone and clearly different context. Are you serious? You're gonna take the word of some seaman who shot us and still point a gun at us? Are you fucking stupid of a slut, Side? Side ignored her and looked at the other girl. I'll give her to Evergreen with the documents. Green, these documents are serious. Damning accusations. And it ties in with what you heard. Adagio caught that. You heard something? Evergreen nodded as he looked through the file.
A killer on our squad said that Seaman Piano Bliss, the captain's petite soul, did an assassination attempt on the captain. But one of the sirens that was present that day said there was no attack, and Seaman Bliss was last seen in the company of Prince Divine. Said siren was assigned to the bolt hole and was one of the ones killed that night. Our teammate believes that Seaman Bliss was sleeping with the prince, sewer or not, and the captain killed her out of jealousy. Siren spoke up this time. I heard that the Prince Divine is spending a lot of money. A lot of money that will be used on material and other necessary needs for the sirens. But the expenses are more than just for us to hit CSIS hard and then fade away into the wallpaper. The money being spent is for targeting multiple locations on the planet. That means the captain has long-term plans for us. Plans he found she didn't have beyond hitting our tormentors. At the time, I didn't believe her. I mean, who would believe that shit? And then she got assigned to the bolt hole. It was one of the ones that killed as well. Figures. I think the captain knew the bolt hole would be targeted, so she set it up to get rid of those that found out. At the same time, flushing out Lascars. Dacio said, Look, right now it's just my teammates and our swords up against the rest. And the captain has an iron hand here. So he sold out the Sisterhood, and there are worse things we haven't shown you yet. Things that will horrify you. And as sirens, there's not as much we're horrified by. Teen looked down and said, Turn around and let me tie your hands. Then we'll get in the car and head to our hideout. I'll show you the rest. Sai looked at Evergreen. Greenie, I'm going with them. If this is serious, people we know could be in danger. I'm not going in without you, sis, Evergreen insisted. Okay, ladies. I think I'm done with this shit, so... She reached forward, grabbing Evergreen and pulled a gun out and held it to the girl's head. Looking at Dacio, she said, Sid Fiscus, idiot. And that's that you're a seaman, and I'm getting paid the big bucks. Dacio brought her rifle to bear. Let her go, or I'll take you out. Wang laughed. You might be able to pull that off, but I can still pull the trigger with a reflex. Even if I'm dead, so's this Lisbo. Let her go, Wine! sighed Arnold. Get bent witch. Such a no need to weaklings would give up. She looked at Dacio. Got to hand it to you. You guys found all the holes the captain's been asking me to plug. Honestly, I thought it was just these two snackers. Looks like they led me to the jackpot. What? Evergreen asked. You're on her side, Wine? What? Are you all Lesbo's brain damaged? My name's not even Wine. She laughed, as if the joke was on them. I'm Lieutenant Kona Scorch, Siren Deep Reconnaissance. The captain let me in on her little skin. In return, she's gonna let me out of my own little place to rule. All I had to do is get rid of some loose ends. She said that she began to change. Evergreen could hear unnatural sounds coming from behind her. With horrifying looks at Dacio and Sai's faces, she wasn't mincing much. Without a warning, a trail of smoke passed through the air, pitching through the face of Lieutenant Scorch. She fell back, not dead, but as if stunned. Still, it was enough for her to let go of Evergreen as she hit the ground. Dacio opened fire, raining the crystal bullets. Armor-piercing rounds sliced through the body, making it jerk and dance like a marionette until it fell to the ground with a wet squish. Sai ran to her sister's side and gasped, What the hell is that thing? Dacio was more informed, but no less shocked. They are real, she voiced. A second later, she recovered enough to say, That is what Katana Blast is going to turn us all into if we don't stop her. We'll be turned into our own private army of monsters, and I bet you we won't have a say in it. Or had the free will that this idiot had. A thumb sounded out from behind him as Arya looked out of the trees where she'd been stationed. Looking at that thing, she said to her sister, Okay, get the flares. We're going to want to burn this body and hide your remains. Yeah, I have explosives in our car. We need to destroy both this one we stole and their car. She looked aside at Evergreen. Ladies, I think we made our point. Do we need to ask further? No. Sai looked down, looking at the remains of Lieutenant Scorch. No, I swear on the Admiral's honor, we'll come peacefully. In fact, you may want to get our gear out of the car before you destroy it. If we're going to join you, then we're going to need all the equipment we can get. And you, petty officer? I thought you asked Evergreen. I go where my sister goes. She replied, as not enough of an answer. Dacio blinked. Wait, you two are sisters? So I put her around Evergreen. Adopted, they explained. Okay, Dacio answered before turning to Arya. Set a code to message assigned to relay to Mezzo, the Mrs. Accomplice. Arya looked back at Dacio. See? Tells you nothing to worry about. Velvet looked at her foster daughter with disappointment. I don't know whether I should be amazed or horrified by this new talent of yours.
She held the letters in her hand. Nat looked at her. It's things like this that are going to jeopardize your adoption, Sonny. We can't afford slip-ups, not when we're so close.
I'm sorry.
Sunset looked down. She looked crestfallen at her parents' reaction to the letters. She knew she had nothing with the letters other than to being the recipient, but she couldn't exactly explain that. Luna looked at them all. I suppose this is possibly my fault. I did assign this during summer school, and encouraged the students to write in a different way as to make the project look as they were from different people. She then looked sternly at Sunset. But I thought you were done with this, Sunset. Sunset had no idea why Miss Luna had come to bat for her, but she was glad she did.
I was excited about the project, and well, I forgot. I did give it that Philly Funista treatment so nobody would think it was real.
She turned her head and said with sorrow,
I didn't think it would get out of hand like this.
Cadence looked at Twilight and said, See?
I knew this would easily be solved.
She then looked at Sunset and added,
Still, I hope you don't do this again. Or at least without some warning. I've seen some kids run through the system with the same issues, and given your past, Sonny, I don't want that to happen to you.
Velvet nodded, then it's settled.
She then looked at Twilight. I also think you owe your sister an apology for what you did.
Twilight looked at Sunset. Somehow the younger teen knew the older was lying. Sunset was worried about that, but she continued to look at her sister, hoping Twilight would convince herself that it was wrong. She didn't.
You're lying. To me, your sister. How could you do it?
Twilight, look, I'm sorry I copied your handwriting without letting you know.
No, it's not that, and you know it. No, you're lying to me about the writing itself. I don't know why, but you are. I just know it.
The implication, of course, was that Luna was lying as well. But Twilight was ready to answer her.
Twilight, when you're ready to tell me the truth, I'll listen. Until then, I want you to know that this hurts me, Sunset, more than you know.
Twilight got up from her seat. Looking at everyone present, she said, I'm going to turn in early, do some reading, understand what it's like to find some trust in someone, even if fictional. She went over and kissed her mother and father on the cheeks, waved goodnight to Luna and Cadence before running up the stairs. Teenage drama set to disrupt. Sunset sat there, jaw slack and eyes radiating shock. Practically, since they knew each other, Twilight had never referred to her sister as Sunset. It was a distancing moment, in the sign of someone who wanted the Sunset to stay as far away from her as possible. She experienced this the first few weeks after the homecoming dance last year. A time that felt so long ago in light of this past year. Tell me about it! It feels like it's been about 4 years! Now their crushing sorrow was sinking in again. Subconsciously, Sunset wrapped her arms around herself in lonely solace. Velvet and Night looked at each other. Neither of them expected this. Neither Twilight's overreaction to what was really a stupid mistake on Sunset's part, or the crushing anguish they could see their older daughter going through now. Fortunately for her, both Cadence and Luna saw it as well.
I'll go talk to Twilight,
Cadence offered, heading upstairs to deal with the unpleasant melodrama. Bet, this has been an experience, Luna said, sitting down to drink. I'd love to stay and chat longer, you two, but I need to get an early night's sleep. I need to drive up to Oregon for the conference tomorrow. See what this Sunset. Please come with me, Sunset. I need to tell you something. Velvet, assuming it was an irreparable Luna's life in fights with Celestia, nodded.
I'll talk to you later, Lou.
Night figured the same. Don't be a stranger, okay? Luna smiled at her two oldest friends. My life is strange as is, she chuckled. Have a pleasant evening. The pair walked across the street to Luna's car. Luna, she said softly, as soon as she was certain no one could hear. I'm disappointed in you. I thought you ceased this behavior.
I did. The letters are from Equestria, honestly, Sunset replied.
What, a Princess Celestia? A Princess Twilight? I can understand the latter, given I met her. But the rest of it I don't understand. And given I didn't see those letters, I don't want to know. Luna sighed. I figured that when Tia called me and explained that you might be in trouble, your past might be involved, I figured it would involve us. It's the only reason I volunteered to cover for you.
I didn't need for them to get out. I should have hidden them better.
No, what you should have done is what you should still do, is tell them the truth. If you need your friends there to support you, I'm sure they will. Even Tia and I would too. But I will not lie to your mother like that again. That is my closest friend, and responsible sister to me as Tina O'Malley, and it makes me ill at ease to have done so. I won't do it again. This is the last time, it's Sunset. Keep that in mind. The look on Luna's face was stern. Each mistake like this runs you out of office in Sunset, as well as it should. Do you want to keep lying to those you love? No, she said in a soft voice. I never wanted to do so in the first place. Luna put her hands on the girl's shoulders. This above all, to one's style itself be true. There's a reason why those words have lasted the test of time. In the end, you must be honest to yourself and no one else, or used to who you are. You've already been through that once. It would hurt me seeing you go through that again. Luna brought Sunset forward in an embrace. I have faith in you, Sunset. You'll do the right thing. I hope you do it in time. So do I, Sunset said. Though she wasn't sure if she was agreeing with Luna or trying to convince herself. So do I. Hey sis, we're back, Adagio said, carrying 4 pieces of the apartment. Things are going to be a little crowded around here, but I'm sure the 5 of us can deal. Sadana sat stock still at the keyboards, unmoving, as he was the curves. Arya noticed immediately. Sonny? She asked. Darcy threw the pieces to the side and rushed forward. Sonny! She said, turning her, only to find her sister, eyes red with tears. You're back! Sadana said, enveloping her sister in a hug, silently sobbing. You're back! Dazia patted the youngest triplet on the head. I told you we'd be back, Sonny. I promised you. I know, but I'm the baby. Aren't I supposed to worry? She said, breaking from the embrace and turning to look at Arya. But both my sisters? Evergreen looked aside. We know how that feels. She turned aside and merely smiled. Well, intros will have to wait, Adagio replied. First things first, were you able to crack the file? The sky blue dress girl nodded her head. I did, and once I hadn't. She gestured to the keyboard, revealed that Project Arcane was just a cover operation and its place was the real deal. Project Salvorum. Read. She said, getting up from the keyboard, walking to the bathroom to wash her faces. Dazia read. A second later, winces and shot. Arya knew her sister's body language well enough, she joined her. A second later, she turned, in horror in her eyes, and said, Greenie, you guys want to take a look at this? A few minutes later, after everyone read the files, and Sanaa came out of the bedroom, she could see the look of absolute horror on the girls' faces. It's true. I cross-referenced everything. What's to have it? Is it true? The sisterhood, Adagio murmured, world feelings still had fallen under her feet. The world would not be the same again. The sirens are the serial killers! Meanwhile, Sophia Breeze opened his door. It looked like he'd been drinking. Seth, you know what time it is? Yes, it is 10 in the evening, Saffron Masala said. Currently she was dressed in a t-shirt and shorts, both of which hugged her body and showed off its curves. I was going out for a run. Want to join me? Why don't you come inside? I'll give you all the exercise you need. She gave him a little look. And you're married? He laughed. I don't know what the fuck are you thinking of. I was talking Pilates, but I hold my home set with me. Oh, she replied. Well, not my style, anyway. I'm going to talking, and then I'll hit you hay. Then we'll be back on Stick on 8. Yeah, it's horrific to get up that early in the morning, but I'll admit. Anyway, night. She waved and went down the elevator, leaving the hotel. Passing the cars in the parking lot, she stopped briefly on the sidewalk in order to slip on her earbuds and put on her preferred music mix over her phone before she started jogging at a brisk pace. She'd driven around 3 of the blocks, and it measured roughly about a half mile all around. There was a pitch black around the corner where the street light was burnt out, a side of a building that didn't have lights, but the area was safe. It was a precaution, had her service revolver with her. She would be fine. So, armed with the music of Midnight Moondust, Saffron was a fan, she wasn't afraid to admit it. She began her jog, with a wonderful workout in mind, one that would tire her out enough for a good night's sleep, followed by a great day of work. The only remains she would find of aged Saffron Masala the following morning would be her headphones, a single shoe, and a tarot card. 11. Justice. Oh man, you killed another hot one!